Hi, I'm Helen, Head of SEO at Reflect Digital, and this is the Reflect Roundup. So first up, Google is going to help us to improve our discovery through search. This sounds really nice, but essentially all it is that they've changed some of the ways they display information on their search results. So they've made the featured snippets longer, they have moved the people also search for function, and they are providing more information that's common to a series of your search queries. I'll explain. So the featured snippets are curated information that Google has got from across the internet that they present to us as a direct answer at the top of the search results. So for instance, if I search for what is the average temperature in Portugal in June, it will tell me the temperature is 30 degrees without me actually having to go through to a website at all, which is good and bad, I guess, because if you're a website owner, you kind of want people to go through to your website. You don't want them getting information from it without actually visiting the site. But Google has increased the length of these featured snippets and is starting to include more in them. So in some specific featured snippets, we're getting additional images and potentially more information. So good if you're a searcher, possibly good, possibly not if you're a website owner. Now, they have also moved the people also search for functionality. So that used to be at the bottom of the search results. So if you type something in and scroll to the bottom, you'd see some other people's searches that were related to the search that you just did. Kind of helped you to look at other questions you might be asking or other things you should be looking at. So it was quite a useful discovery tool. Anyway, they've moved it from the bottom of the search results up to the top if you're on mobile, or onto the side if you are looking on a desktop. And finally, Google has improved its ability to provide you with information that's relevant to a series of your searches. So the example they give, if you search for Messi, who apparently is a footballer, you'll get some results about Messi. If you then go on to do a search about Neymar, who I'm guessing is another footballer, you could get results that are actually relevant to both Messi and Neymar. So for instance, you might get some other footballers who play in the same team as them, if they play in the same team. Essentially all it's doing is allowing you to see links between people and things that might be of interest to you, helping you to explore a topic more than specific questions that you're asking, which actually is quite a useful thing, especially if you're doing research on something you don't know much about, like football. And in related news, Google has also introduced this really fun but essentially useless new gimmick that they've asked a load of celebrities like Will Ferrell and Gina Rodriguez and James Franco to record selfie-style videos of them asking and answering questions about themselves. So for instance, I searched for how tall is Will Ferrell, and he told me personally, through a video that he'd obviously recorded weeks ago, that he is 6'3". He then went on to explain his thoughts on his ability to play drums and various other questions and answers that he thought was relevant about himself. So as I say, quite interesting, but actually in terms of search results, not that useful, because I actually had to scroll past the direct answer of 6'3" when I was searching for how tall is Will Ferrell to get to that video in the search results. So a bit of fun, but not necessarily the most efficient way of getting answers through search results. So next up, Google is providing warnings about TLS versions in their Google Search Console. So TLS, if you don't know or don't care, stands for Transport Layer Security, and it's essentially one of the methods that you can keep connections on the internet secure. So if your website is HTTPS, which it should be by now, you will either be using TLS or SSL. Now SSL might be something that you're familiar with, but more than likely you're actually using TLS to keep your internet connection secure. Now, TLS is the more up-to-date version of SSL, but there's actually a more up-to-date version of that up-to-date version. So if you are running TLS version 1, then Google will soon start warning you in Google Search Console that you need to upgrade to version 1.2 by March 2018. Sounds a bit scary. Essentially it's not. Just make sure if you do get that warning in Search Console that you act on it. And finally, Google's Year in Search has just been released. So every year, Google provides us with the top trending searches for the globe and individual countries. So if you look at the top trends for the UK, you can go to google.co.uk/2017, and you can find out, for instance, that the most searched for subject in the UK in 2017 was Meghan Markle. The most searched for question was how to make slime, and the most searched for food recipe was chili con carne. So that gives us the information that perhaps the average UK citizen is watching episodes of Suits every night whilst making slime for their children and eating chili con carne, perhaps. Gives a bit of an insight into the mind of the UK citizen. A bit terrifying in some instances, but really interesting. And of course, Google Trends is always a really good tool for finding out more about particular topics, what's trending, what people are asking, and what they're searching for at the moment. So always good to check it out. And the year of review is always enlightening, shall we say. So that's it for this week, and I'll join you again next week.